Some people argue that our purpose in this life is to be happy. I don't agree. I think we're just here to be, and that it's up to us to find out how to make our lives meaningful while navigating this complex phenomenon that is our existence. And the very nature of that existence is that we experience many highs, many lows, and countless neutrals. We often forget the neutrals, even though we spend a lot of time in that emotional plane. Think about it. There are many days where you aren't happy, but you're also not sad. Days where there's no distinct emotion to call out or hold on to. When you're just in the swing of life, you're not really thinking, oh, am I happy, or am I sad, or am I angry? You're just being. We usually start focusing so much on happiness and positivity when our lows come, and I get it. We've been conditioned to view emotions in some sort of hierarchy. Anger is bad, happiness is superior, sadness is depressing, fear is weak. But what if we got rid of that way of thinking? What if we began to see that emotions aren't tied to morality? They aren't inherently good or bad. Anger can be sacred. Happiness can be misplaced and selfish. Fear can be healthy. Sadness is often a teacher. None of these emotions are of themselves the baseline or the correct standard for measuring a satisfactory or a well-lived life. None of them are more or less important than the other. They're all valid and needed for a well-balanced human experience. That's why we sometimes end up in unhelpful or damning positions when we spend our entire lives obsessively pursuing one emotion or masking the other. The impulse to quickly rid ourselves of suffering and pain leaves many of us chained to various vices and addictions. We believe we can't cope, so we seek solace in things that slowly kill us. Some of us are incredibly sick from unexpressed anger and bitterness, from putting up a strong front, smiling when we really want to cry, lying about how we feel. It's like drowning in your own blood. We think we always need to be happy, and in that pursuit of happiness, we further hurt ourselves because we're not listening to our body's cues. Listen, your sad, heavy, unsure days are just as crucial as your happy, jolly days. They all matter, and they're all part of your story. They should be acknowledged and experienced. They should be lived. I know this is not what we hear, and this is not what we're often told. But you don't always have to be happy to be okay. A lack of happiness or the absence of happiness in a moment in your life does not mean you're not okay. You're just having a human experience. And these things come in waves. And just like we surf through and sail through tides and waves, you'll write this one out too. There are days when it feels like I'm moving in slow motion. I'm overwhelmed and my mind and my head are working like crazy, and I'm just trying to find the light at the end of the tunnel. I spent a lot of my younger years in this state, and I genuinely believed that there was no way forward. I just couldn't see past what I was in. But the fact that I'm sitting here making this video today is proof that I did in fact find a way. It can be so hard to see past the pain and the heaviness when you're in it. And we often forget that we ourselves are the embodiment of the hope we desperately seek and need on really hard days. Your existence, the fact that you've made it through tough or even tougher times, through low moments and really dark days, that is your portfolio of proof that it does get better. That lighter and worry-free days do fall upon us, often without warning. That pain isn't always unbearable, and that joy can abound even in sorrow. Now that I'm older, when the walls start closing in and I can't hear anything but my heartbeat and my thoughts racing, I try to remember, I try to play back all those moments in my life where it felt like I had reached a dead end. All those moments where I genuinely felt hopeless and helpless. And I think if I survived that, I'll definitely survive again. I might not know how, but that's okay, because even then, I didn't know how either. All that matters is that I found a way. And if younger me could do it with barely any knowledge and resources, then current me must do it too, so that future me has something to hold on to when she needs it. It's not uncommon for us to feel isolated in our pain, in our suffering and fears. But one thing I like to keep in mind is that though the specifics of my problem and struggles are unique to me, the feelings attached to them are a shared human experience. So no matter what it is I'm going through, there's someone somewhere else who is going through the exact same things. And I might not be able to call them by name, and I might not be able to pick them out of a crowd. It might be a completely different situation. But on a primal level, I can relate to them. We are connected in that way. I don't know, but it helps me feel less alone on this journey. It helps me know that I'm not being dragged or picked on by fate, that I'm not being singled out. So whatever it is you're experiencing, chances are there's someone in your friendship or your social group or just around you that shares those same feelings. And just like you, they may believe that they're alone. So maybe we can start shattering this illusion, this lie, by sharing more of our mess, by having real conversations, letting people know that we're not okay, and being okay with crying together just as much as we laugh and party together. See if there are people around you who you can lean on for support and community, people who can also lean on you. There's online spaces for that too, especially for people who don't have flesh and blood relationships, in real life relationships, where we can share our struggles, our humanness, our experiences with other people, and have strangers all over the world chip in to remind you that we are all in this together. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure. My name is Pearl, and I'll see you in the next video. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's my life.